What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this, I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what you should be watching for as time progresses. I'm also going to talk about why tomorrow is going to be a very important day and how this could end up affecting the markets. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. This offer ends in just about 2 days from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the markets. Looking at SPY, this thing is currently at 440.8, trying to continue to push. But we have some tight resistance in this 441 range as we're approaching this resistance trend line. So this is very important because the market right now is making these attempts to go higher and higher and higher, but it's very important to be very careful because of what's about to come. Looking at SPY, okay, we came very close to this trend line, this white trend line. We haven't been able to break it just yet, so we're still basically on the edge of some chop, but we need to see if this breaks tomorrow or not. There's also a risk of us getting a big rejection because we have some bearish technicals developing. Right now on SPY, we have a triple bearish divergence. This could even be a quadruple, but a triple bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, and we have a quadruple bearish divergence on the hourly and the 30-minute time frames. This suggests that it's very probable that SPY could pump a little bit more, but then eventually start dropping over the next few days and see a very, very healthy pullback. Or it could just pull back from here if we fail to break our trend line, right? This white trend line right here on SPY, the resistance trend line. We'll be watching this very carefully, but this is just what technicals are suggesting. Now, technicals are suggesting the market may pull back a little bit in the future, but nothing is guaranteed just yet because what's going to trump technicals is going to be the data that comes out for tomorrow. So tomorrow, we have some European data. We have the GDP growth rate quarter over quarter coming out, but it's not going to be like that significant for the US markets. In my opinion, it's not going to be that crazy. This is coming out at 5 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, what's going to be more impactful is going to be the CPI report coming out an hour before the market opens. So for CPI, we're anticipating that we're going to see a 3.3% year over year inflation rate. That's going to be for basically all items. And then for October, core is supposed to be around 4 to 4.1%. We'll be watching this. If this CPI is hot, this may incentivize the Fed to give us one final rate hike for the year. There could be one more coming, maybe another like 25 basis point hike if we get a hot CPI, and that could cool off the markets. Okay, there's a risk of that happening looking at the current technicals. So you just want to be very careful and you just want to be prepared. So my warning to everyone would be that when I was going about this, I went long on the markets and I just took my profits. I'm just like, laying back right now, just letting the market do its thing. And I'm just going to wait and see what happens with CPI. There's going to be a risk of some downside. It's a little bit more probable the market's going to pull back, but it's never a 100% guarantee. So if we get a really decent CPI, okay, if CPI is decent, SPY could break this resistance and try to get to 444. That is looking kind of tricky right now as we're struggling to break this tight resistance in the 441s for now. If we're bearish off CPI, then anticipate we're going to be retesting 438, and we can start sinking to these much lower levels down here to like 436.5 and beyond that. So do I know what's going to happen? The answer is no. I do not know with 100% certainty how this is going to go. Because I don't know, and because we have this new piece of data, I don't think it makes sense to go way too heavy on a position. I'm not like going all in or going super, super heavy on puts or different short positions. I'm not selling covered calls or doing anything like that. I'm just waiting on the sidelines. I have very small positions, which I could hold through CPI, but they're going to be very minor. And I just don't see myself taking on too much risk. I mean, I would rather just wait and see how it goes first than just trade when I see intraday, because the market could be very, very hard to predict sometimes. For Nvidia stock, I just wanted to call out that Nvidia is at this tight resistance. You want to be careful on Nvidia. 490 is where we have this tight resistance, and Nvidia has been pushing as we approach that level. Now, at this 490 area, you need to remember that Nvidia is approaching this resistance with a double, maybe a triple bearish divergence. I think it's actually a double. And that suggests that there might be a rejection coming. I saw a lot of large put sweeps on Nvidia. So we saw a lot of big players buying puts, shorting Nvidia up here. It doesn't guarantee anything. Nvidia could still push up to 500. A decent CPI could make that happen, or Nvidia could get a slight pullback, which is, in my opinion, a little bit more probable. But just to be safe, we'll be waiting. We'll see if Nvidia gets that pullback back down to like 480 or so, maybe even below that, but it depends. On Apple stock, Apple came a little bit below this range right here at 185. That was a bearish signal. It came all the way down to this very low 184 level. It's been shopping since between 184 and 185. Not really doing much for today, as it's just going to be a boring day with hedging as we approach CPI. So as far as Apple goes, it's very boring, very tight. A decent CPI could launch it to break this high at 186.5. And if CPI is harder than expected, I anticipate it's going to come down to 184 or even below that into 183.5. Then we have like 182. So there's going to be a risk of downside. In my opinion, Apple's just getting tighter. It's just subjected to a lot of this hedging right now from these big institutions. Very boring. There's not much going on, but we'll just have to see what happens with CPI. Now, Tesla is very strong. They actually closed a big deal that was announced, and that's great news for them when it comes to their sales for the superchargers. Very, very good news came out, and we saw Tesla pump off the news, and Tesla's finally gaining some strength. Now, the thing about Tesla is this: even though Tesla's pumping, and we have a very nice looking inverse head and shoulders like structure, it looks bullish from a technical standpoint. This looks bullish. It looks like it's going to try to push higher. It might want to test the 4-hour 200 EMA. However, I also want to call out that Tesla has tight resistance between 227 and 230. So we'll be watching to see if Tesla could try to get all the way up there if we manage to get a break during CPI time. But at the same time, CPI is not everything for Tesla, and CPI, it doesn't necessarily guarantee what's about to play out. So the best way to go about this would be wait and see what CPI does and see if Tesla reacts to it. If we get a hot CPI and the whole market cools off, that could still play a role in causing Tesla to cool off. So we could see, this imbalance fill down here. We could see Tesla reject off this resistance of a hot CPI. But at the same time, if CPI is decent, Tesla could break out. So the best thing to do is just be patient and see. I can't really promise anything, so we'll just have to wait. The QQQ has tight resistance at 378 to 380. If CPI is hot, we're going to reject. If it's decent, we could see a 380 attempt on the QQQ. And for now, the VIX is finally showing a little bit of life, but it's not that great. We have this gap down here. We'll see if the VIX kind of like fills this gap, then bounces. Could be forming a possible inverse head and shoulders right here. There's a real possibility of that, which gives the bulls a slight edge. So we'll just have to wait and see. Not the bulls, sorry, the bears a slight edge on the markets. So we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, the market's at resistance. The best thing I can tell you is don't worry too much about this move at this point. The market might just continue to chop around, not make anything too crazy. But we'll be watching CPI tomorrow morning to see how it looks, and we'll see how this affects the markets. All right, so with that said, please have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Please, please, please know that if you want to exit your positions right before CPI, this is going to be your last chance. The last hour and a half, that's it, and then you won't have another opportunity. So do what you have to do, guys. This is your last opportunity. I'm just giving you guys another warning, and I'll see you guys in the next one in just a couple of hours. Thanks again, and peace out.